everybody, it's Safi and Marco dishing out on the movies. But today we're doing the Chucky series, episode 4. The title of it is Just Let Go, and it premiered last night.
And by just let go, we mean the writers just let go of writing.
I don't know.
Or Junior just let go of acting. Junior. And then the dad wouldn't just let go of cross-country obsessions. And then there's a lot of just letting go.
I guess so.
Like the Devin's mom just let go of her brain.
Yeah, so what Marco was talking about is she interviewed Jake without an adult present.
Yeah.
And since she has a son his age, they are not high schoolers. I mean, they're not 18, they're not 21. They're like 15 or 14, probably 15. She had no business interviewing him or accusing him of anything.
Yeah, we all know if her son was questioned without an adult present that she would say that they're racist and that they're doing something illegal.
Well, they would be, just like she was doing something illegal.
Doing. So I thought, like, they've been doing that a lot recently. Like, they did that in American Horror Story Season 10, and they're doing it now. Like, what's with that? Like, that's not good.
That's the opposite of what they should be doing. I mean, if they want to manipulate things, at least manipulate it the right way, which is not manipulative. It's the law. You don't interview a minor without an adult present. I just don't get that. And then she's accusing him of everything. I mean, and she would be probably get herself fired, because if anything, if she accused him of something, and let's say he said, "Yeah, I did that," and then he gets a lawyer, and the lawyer could just say he could just deny it, and there's no one present, there's no recording, and it would be her word against his, and she would be out there then for interviewing a minor without an adult. His rights were being violated as a minor. So I mean, I don't get that bullshit. That's what I mean. This is why I'm saying all along, when you write fiction, you have to have some reality in it for it to be believable. And
Oops.
That's not real.
I just remembered something.
Okay, go ahead, Marco.
No, it doesn't have anything to do with the video.
Okay, well, one thing is, Jake is forced to admit to Lexi that he wanted Chucky to kill her, which I thought was very significant. He admitted it, but they both...
and she's like, why?
Yeah, and how could you... I mean, you were so upset with me, you wanted to kill me, and he said, well, you dressed up as my dad, and he was dying, well, anyway, they got in a whole big thing, and they actually came to a better understanding of where they both were. Because he said, I hope you're happy. She said, I hope you're happy. And he said, I haven't been happy in a long time. And I think it's been that way for her, too, with her parents, because her parents are so creepy.
And now, Safi, since we just saw Curse and Cult of Chucky, isn't it hilarious how the evil doctor, how he's playing Lexi's father too?
And he's playing such a weak...
It's so funny seeing him now playing like two different roles. And he did a much better job in Curse of Chucky. I mean, Cult of Chucky. They're both trash, but he did a good job in that one. And in this one, it seems like his character is kind of trash. And I kind of wonder, like, is his character going to get better? Are any of these weak characters going to get better and more interesting? Because we've had 4 episodes now, and it feels like for every episode it's been the same story. Chucky's really good. Lexi's really good. Everyone else sucks.
Well, we can't say anything about the little girl because she was asleep the whole time.
Well, she hasn't been a part of like every moment though. Like the main characters, like the dad, the stepdad. I mean, Logan, and is that his name? I don't know. I don't know these people's names. They're not good.
Junior is
Junior is like sleepwalking through his role, and it's not his fault, it's the director's fault. So there you go.
And what happened with Junior is, this is another thing that it's irritating. Well, actually, it leads to another thing, which Marco can talk about, which he brought to my attention, and I was just letting it go and excusing it, but, he brought it out, and he's totally right. But the first thing is, he's in bed in the hospital, and he was standing there or dancing around with the earphones with Brandon and a bunch of other kids.
Brandon?
Isn't it Brandon?
Brandon?
African American guy? Whatever. Sometimes I just get messed up on the names. But anyway. Devin. God, why did I think his name was Brandon?
What is that?
I must know somebody named Brandon who it looks like. So anyway, they're dancing around.
Let's go, Brandon.
They're on the lower level of the house. The fire was upstairs. And he's in a hospital in a bed. I mean, the little girl was up there where the fire was going. So she inhaled quite a bit of smoke, so she's unconscious. And so that's totally understandable, but why is he in bed? None of the kids who were with him are in bed. They're not even in the hospital.
Devin was in bed at first. I mean, Brandon Devin. You call him Brandon
Okay,
now.
Marco. Let's just move on.
That's his new name.
Okay, well, let's just move on.
He'll be called Brandon.
Okay, just let go. I'll bring up the name
but
of it.
He was in bed at first, He was in bed sitting there.
Oh, yeah, but he wasn't
and Jake was
down.
And Jake was like, it's so funny, like, Jake is such a bad actor that, like, I'm not kidding you. You could, if you want to play a drinking game for the Chucky series, take a shot every time he tilts his head and goes, he makes this hilariously stupid face, like a derpy face. So from now on, I'm going to call him Jagged Jake, because he just goes like...
I can't see you.
Every 2 seconds. Can you imitate it, Safi?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. What you got to do is take a picture of him doing a screenshot and post it on, so they know what we're talking. But I think they would.
He does it like every couple of seconds. Like, it's almost like it's a part of his character, like some sort of a... Is it like a twitching or something? Like some sort of a weird, bizarre, like, direction from the director? Like, you need to tilt your head and make a retarded face every couple of seconds.
Well, and he does it no matter what kind of mood he's in or what kind of situation. If it's a good situation, he tilts his head and kind of makes a quirky little half smile. If it's a bad situation where he's upset, like the cop woman was accusing him of being at that party and killing Oliver and doing all this, setting the fire, just doing everything. He wasn't even anywhere near there. And he did this little sideways, side over head thing where he's frowning and twitching his mouth. And it just doesn't matter.
Just imagine if someone, like, accused you of murder and then you tilt your head and go, eee!
I hate making fun of these people, and it's not all their fault, like Marco said.
No, it's all the director's fault.
I was going to say, where's the director?
That's entirely
that's their problem.
And the editor's fault, because if there's different takes where he doesn't do that face, then the editor should be choosing the takes where he doesn't do that face. So it's really the director and the editor's fault.
Yeah.
And the casting director's fault.
Well, whatever. So they actually kind of understand each other's personal situations, because she really is clueless about why he would be so upset with her. And that's pretty bad when he had. And then she gets pissed off, but then nobody will believe her that there's a problem. So she gets him, and they go to the house.
Yeah.
Well, the scene of the crime.
And I thought it was funny because, we were going to talk about this anyway. Even though Jake is supposedly gay, he's probably not gay in real life. Even though he's supposedly gay, he has much better chemistry than with Lexi than with anyone else in the show.
And
so,
she is the best actor of the show.
She's the best actor.
Except for Chucky.
Her and Chucky. They're the best actors. And everyone else sucks.
Well, the little girl comes in next, but like I said, she was out of it this episode. She wasn't even in it.
And who knows how much she'll play a part anymore, because they've decided they're going to do the Goosebumps kitty route and not really kill any kids at all, except for like one. Because we find out that Oliver is the only person who gets killed, which is complete trash. I mean, that just deflates that entire sequence of episode 3. And, you know, we also wanted to mention that, you know, they don't even discuss or show how the events of episode 3 are solved. They just jump straight into, oh, they're in the hospital now.
They don't show them. I mean, what was going on with the little girl? Was she asleep in bed, and that's how she inhaled all that smoke? Was she trying to get out? Was Lexi trying to get her out? And she, you know, she is younger, so it would impact her more. And then all those kids, like on the floor, dancing around. And you could see the fire in the background. It's like they all had their eyes closed, which was weird.
They couldn't smell the smoke.
And their nostrils weren't cut. They weren't wearing masks, so they ought to have been able to smell. It was right there, right above them on the upper floor.
Yeah, you could have had it to where they were wearing like latex party masks or something, and so all they're smelling is the latex inside the masks.
I think with that kind of fire, though, they would be smelling anyway. But
after a while, but at first, you know, like they didn't show anything. They didn't show any sort of explanation.
So there's another thing.
That's so lazy. I mean, that is just fucking lazy.
So it's another thing where the viewer sits there and uses his brain to put together all the events of what may have happened.
We got to put together the puzzle, not the writers.
No, of course not. We wouldn't want them to do their jobs.
We can't show who called the police. We can't show, like, how Lexi got out of being killed by Chucky when he was standing on top of her practically, ready to stab her.
What happened?
That's just bullshit.
Yeah, how could that happen? I mean, especially that. If you think we're being too picky, he was really about to kill her. Yeah. And he was in a great position to do it. So how did she escape? They don't even show it.
It just happened, Safi. It just happened. And well, we can write it ourselves because we're the writers of the show. Oops. Oh wait, no, we're the reviewers. So that's kind of weird. I don't want to write their writing for them.
No, not unless we get paid for it.
Yeah.
So, like again, I would view as Lexi being the best actor of the whole group. The other ones just have like a one-note acting. The parents got into a fight, and Lexi's mother, who is really her mother in real life, she gets all mad and hysterical, but still anybody could do that. And then, but they're all like very bland. I just don't get it.
They're sort of like, you wanted to talk about Hallmark movies. They're sort of like TV movie actors, except at least with TV movie actors, they're always consistently over the top.
Well, they're over the top mad because their boyfriend or their girlfriend had an affair with somebody, and they have to go and start a business somewhere and start a new life and blah. I've seen it all.
In general, that's like a complaint of TV movies. But I'll take TV movie acting over this type of acting.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I don't really think it's their fault. I just think that the characters are so underwritten and the story is so underwritten. It feels kind of like an elementary schooler wrote this show. Like, it's not that hard.
And I just wanted to say,
it's not that
Mark
hard.
will probably find this funny because I've already mentioned it to him. A cop gets killed. Not the lady. Of course, what's his name is Devin, his mother. She doesn't get a scratch on her. She's too busy going. But the thing is, when she was with Jake in that illegal interview, she actually provided him an alibi because while they were doing that, the other cop
The detective.
He got killed by Chucky. And they, of course, all found him, and Jake had been interviewing with her, and she had seen him coming into the hospital with Lexi. So he was nowhere near.
And you could check the surveillance footage to see who walks into the room at that moment and who doesn't.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. And I wanted to mention, too, and Marco will love this, the guy who played the detective was in one of my most favorite Hallmark movies, called Gift Wrapped. I'm pretty sure that's the name. I've seen it like 20 plus times. So he didn't play a cop. He played a business executive. He had his own company.
Oh, I bet he did. I bet he put his hands in all the cookie jars and
no, there wasn't. He would do that. That's weird. I didn't like
that. That was really funny because
I could see why Chucky went after him.
Well, those are nice little horror movie moments where someone is doing something really irritating, and the killer's right there, and you're just waiting for the killer to come out. I mean, he's going through this little girl's like candy, her cookies and baked goods, and he's like trying them, and he's not even eating the whole things. He's like, taking a bite of each
and
thing
putting it back in the boxes.
Yeah.
I was like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
That was weird.
That was a good scene, I think. That was probably the best scene because it involved Chucky, you know what I mean?
And Chucky, I don't think he still likes the little girl, and I don't think he liked that.
I don't think she'll like him anymore, though, because they show, I won't say. You know, they show the previews right after these episodes end live, and they basically spoil the whole entire next episodes. Like, it's really irritating. You know, they should really do something about that because the previews are not well done and they just spoil everything. So it kind of pissed me off.
And we're not the only ones to recognize that. I read some comments from people because Chucky apparently has a Twitter handle. And I get little notifications about it. And
I wouldn't look at the Twitter.
Well, some people are very upset. They're saying that why are these?
Well, there's all
just what you just said.
Well, I wouldn't look at Twitter though, because there's all these gay people who think that Chucky is their new gay icon.
Well, nobody has. I didn't read anything like that, but I did read people were complaining, like us, that they were spoiling what was going to happen in the next episode by revealing too much in a preview. I like the previews, but you don't need to do all that revelation, do you? I guess you do if you don't have much written in the first place.
Well, yeah, it's very, very simple, and simplicity often leads to big mistakes that look even worse because everything is so simple.
Yeah. So, do you want to go, or do you have anything else to say, or do you want to go ahead and grade the episode?
Well, I guess the main point is that this episode I was already gonna give an F because of Lexi not dying. Because I thought that how it was done last episode was so well, it was such a great sequence that to ruin that and to make it to where she survives is kind of like a slap in the face. And because they've already done that before, they already had another scene, multiple scenes, where Lexi's gonna get killed and then Chucky doesn't get to kill her. Like, that's like Goosebumps level shit. Like, that's not child's play. And, like, you know, is she ever gonna die? Like, are any of these kids ever gonna face real world consequences? Or is it just gonna be like a Scooby-Doo type of thing where it's like, oh, jeepers, Chucky's not gonna kill us. We gotta run around and defeat Chucky. Oopsie! I fell over and Chucky stood on top of me, but he only scratched me. You know, that's what it feels like is going to happen now. You know, it feels very kiddish and very... It doesn't feel like there's any stakes, honestly.
We have to mention, too, I just remembered, we did not mention that they showed some of his backstory, some more of it.
Oh, that was so rushed and so underwritten, it's not even funny.
And the actor that they picked to do it, he was good, but he looked like a girl.
Well, to me,
I thought he was a girl.
I thought he was a girl, too.
And I didn't even know it was him. And because they showed this other little boy, and I guess they were at a foster home together, and he was like the kid who played Chucky, or Charles Lee Ray, or Charles whatever his name is. He was very tall and skinny, and I don't think that was the right.
He looked like Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker killer.
I don't think they did the right casting, although he did a good job.
He was fine. Evil, I mean, that sequence was like 2 seconds. It was like if you closed your eyes and winked and opened them up, you'd miss this whole sequence. Yeah. And then they had this stupid little nod to his partner Eddie, who he kills in the first movie, and you know that they have it be where it's his origin too, and it's like, fuck off, that was horrible, that sucked, like that was just trash. I mean, you might as well have not even included that and just said Chucky was in a nursing home, and that's where he met Eddie, and after that he left the foster home. I mean, that's all you had to say, because it was so underwritten and so like pointless. It felt like eating an air cookie, like a cookie made out of air. And
macaroon.
You know, you didn't even mention how Junior had his lungs looked at with the camera for some reason.
No, that was another thing. Like I said, Junior was in bed, and none of the other kids were, except for the little girl, who was right in the thick of the smoke. So that made more sense. And I don't know, they had this big discussion about him doing cross country, which I guess he doesn't really care for, but his father loved it, and it's like he's living his life through his son again, you know. This really Pukesville. And then they make him, and I don't understand this. It's another thing with a minor. They made him get the procedure where they put a little camera down his throat to look at his lungs, I guess.
Well, I think that his parents forced him to do that, basically.
Why? Why would they do that to him? I mean, what a horrible thing, for no good reason.
I don't know, and no one else had to have a camera down their throat. That's something else you brought up.
I've read about people who've been in fires and they inhaled too much smoke. They have to go to this like chamber thing, and there's nothing about a camera down the throat. You just have to breathe all this oxygen and be in it for so long, and to get all the smoke out of your lungs, and to get yourself reoxygenated.
Should have asked Jimbo about that.
And I'm just like, what the hell? How could they do that? That's another thing. Again, a minor being subjected to getting an unnecessary, invasive
that was more
test.
Realistic, because parents can basically force you to have that done. So.
Yeah, but for no good reason. No good reason.
Yeah, it was
at all.
It was kind of weird.
He wasn't even. I mean, he was. I don't know. I just the whole thing with him, and Marco suggested that maybe they just did that so he wouldn't really, like the little girl, he wouldn't be part of the episode.
Yeah, because he has the injection of drugs, whatever, to help him with the pain, and then he sings a song and goes to sleep. Yeah. So it basically takes him out of the episode and makes it to where they don't have to write anything for him in the episode. Which he's hardly had any writing for any episode, so like he's almost like a ghost. It's like, are they ever going to give him an actual character? Is he just going to be like this he's like a little flake in the background, like a little flake of dandruff that it just goes and it just flies off into the distance?
Whatever, but I think we've covered everything that we could cover.
Yeah, I guess. I was trying to get to the rating because I was saying...
Go ahead.
I was saying that I was going to give this episode an automatic F because of that horrible... the way that they explain that sequence by not explaining it at all. And not showing anything of what happened or anything. And so... but the episode itself, I'll say that if I wasn't going to give it an automatic F, I would give it like a B- maybe, or a C+. And that's being generous, like really, really generous. generous because it was like a break from watching the X-Files. It's like the perfect break because it's so light and so simple, and the X-Files is so dark and complicated. But I would still give this episode an F+. And I'm giving it an F+ because Lexi stands out from everyone, even though she's supposedly an evil character. She stands out more than anyone because she's the best actress there. So I think that... And also, I like Chucky's look. I like how they gave him a new look. I thought that was cool. I really like the scene where the detective gets killed. And so there were some things that I liked. But overall, this is like a very mediocre episode. Safi?
Yeah.
From okay. Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies.
Okay.
What do you have to say?
I gave it a C, and I liked the episode except for the bad things that I talked about. First of all, them going from a terrible, dangerous fire, and then all those kids, and there's no, we don't know how they escaped. We don't know how Lexi escaped from Chucky. We've already brought this up. That's pretty significant. And why they couldn't show that and spend a couple of minutes showing that, I don't understand. Then the cop talking to a minor without an adult present, I really got pissed off about that. And then Junior having an invasive procedure. I didn't like that. And the thing is about the cop interview is the only good thing about it, that's why I gave it a C, is you could turn things around to a positive side. If you can turn it to a positive, then that gives it some credence. But it kept him from being, she was accusing him of everything. And setting the fire, killing Simon. Why is your doll at every place? What did you have? Did you kill your father because he hit you all this crap. Well, while she was talking to him and that cop got killed by Chucky, he was nowhere near there, so that gave him an alibi. So she has to shut the F up. I mean, it really irritated me. And then the thing with Junior, and he has some basic procedure, which was not necessary. That kept him out of the show. He's not a good actor. I'm sorry. I apologize to him, but he's just not very good.
I think he could be good, though.
Maybe, but not in this show.
If he had the right direction of writing.
Right. And you have to point to that. They are the ones who are paid, the director and the writers, the editor. They are paid to make a good show. They're the ones with the, quote, expertise. And it is their responsibility, because these are young actors who haven't had a lot of experience. They have to be directed and to do whatever or not to do whatever. And they're not really. If they are, I'd love for them to explain it, okay? And I don't see any explanation. And then the other thing is, when they show a preview, they're showing too much, or they need to do it in a way where they don't give so much away. Because really, you're thinking like, well, should I even watch the next episode? Because I think basically I know what's going to happen, which I think actually we do. I'm not going to say, but we actually do, or really have a basic idea of what's going to happen, the whole thing. Because they're not very long. This isn't a movie. This is a TV show with advertisements. So, anyway.
Of course, they'll bring in all those characters like Tiffany and Andy and, Nika and, all the characters that we really don't care about.
So I gave it a C, and I think that's fair.
Well,
because they did not cover certain things they should have covered. They didn't have to spend a lot of time. Really, come on. Anybody watching this show could have done better than you.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, there's a lot of... this episode so far is the highest rated on IMDb.
Well, he does... like I said, they teamed up because I told you they came to kind of an understanding. We'll see how it plays out.
They teamed up. They almost kissed, but they didn't because they made him gay, unfortunately. You know, it really doesn't feel like it at all. I mean, it felt like he was going to become her new boyfriend.
He saved her life.
Yeah.
And I would think the way she is, she'll be grateful, but maybe not. But still, I think they have come to an understanding. And he said, because, you know, what was Chucky was saying? Just let go. Name of the episode. Just let go. And he says, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not a killer. And so Lexi heard him say that, and so I think that'll be a positive. But that's I don't even know why I'm bringing it out. That's a major thing that happened, and they're teamed up.
Yeah, it's like this whole premise. The whole show was built around how we wanted to see Chucky and Jake teaming up to kill all these assholes. And then we're not even going to get to see that happen. It's like a complete betrayal of the premise of the show.
And also, we didn't see anything that came out of this, because this happened near the end. The big thing that happened at the end was the cop was killed. And but Devin had done, because he does a lot of research. He has a podcast in which he has to do research for it. And he's figuring out who Chucky is.
Let's be real, though, Safi. Does Devin act like someone who's actually researched a lot of true crimes? Because
I don't know about a lot of true crimes, just this.
Well, that's his podcast. It's all about true crime. So it really doesn't feel like he's like, you know, because people who do research on true crimes, like me, you know, they would reference all these other true crimes all the time and you know, find ways to compare things and, you know, talk about how maybe Chucky's going to do this because there's this other case where this guy did this and this. You know, there would be some more, like, knowledge instead of, like, I just did a quick search on Google about Chucky, and it turns out Chucky a bad guy. That's what he did. He's like, Chucky a bad guy.
And so he takes Lexi aside, and they go have a talk, and then that's when that cop gets killed, and there's all this screaming, and everybody having a fit, and so they all run into the room like everybody else, and you see the three kids standing together, Jake, Lexi, and Devin, and they look at Chucky, and Chucky has his middle finger out.
That was a nice part too. I forgot about that.
That was good.
Because it was funny. So.
And you see Lexi, who's the only one that doesn't have a mealy mouth, quiet, barely audible persona.
Wouldn't it be funny?
With a horrified look on her face, which is very apropos for the situation. And the other two were like,
they're kind of like dozing off because they're tired from doing it.
I guess.
Wouldn't it be really funny to see her do that face where she turns her head and goes like,
oh, no, I just can't see her doing that. So anyway, that's it. We've given the whole episode away, but it's really...
They should make like a mask where it's just that face. Jagged Jake.
You people need to watch it, and you tell me what you think. You make comments, like and subscribe.
They love it.
And comment about what you think about them showing previews. Do you think they show too much?
Well, the thing is that after a certain amount of time, they have a version of the episode where they don't show the preview at the end.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
they have the option of spoiling or not. So, but when you watch it live, it literally comes as soon as the episode ends. Like, it goes in, and then they show the preview.
And I know you people are going to say, well, you complained that they didn't show enough by not showing what happened how they escaped the house fire and her getting away from Chucky. Well, I can just see it though. People are going to say, well, you're complaining they didn't show enough, and now you're saying they showed too much.
They could say a lot of things.
There can be a balance. Let's say that this is a show that you want to see it. Why else would you listen to us or watch the show? Because you want to. You want to see a good horror show with Chucky. You like Chucky. That guy's good, Brad Dourif. He's really good. In fact, Lexi is good and Brad is good. And that's
In fact,
and the little girl, but she wasn't in the episode.
It could have been really cool if it was just all about them two killing people together or something.
Yeah.
And then the dad actor, he's a really good actor, but he's just getting wasted like most people on the show. They're just getting wasted in these like little cardboard cutout roles.
Yeah. So that's it, everybody.
Please, what, Safi?
I already said it. Like and subscribe.
Subscribe. Comment.
I would like for you to make comments, though. I want to know what you people think, because tell them. I'm sure somebody from the show might listen to one. It would behoove them to do that.
They'll be very upset.
Because if they want to make their shows better, please don't just listen to us, because other people are saying these things too about showing too much in the previews.
I would advise only listening to us, because if you listen to all these people,
there's trying to be fair.
Well, there's so many reviewers out there though that they're fake. They don't actually say the truth, and they just lie because they want people to like them. Because if you say bad things about a show, people don't like that, and they get really upset, and they're like, "Why didn't you like it?" And they get really offended. And so you really just need to listen to us, because we're going to say the truth of like when we like stuff and when we don't.
Now, I'm not into making false. I'm either going to say it what it is, and I'm pretty generous. Marco knows he gets mad at me for being too generous, but I try to be fair, really fair, and actually so does he. And we're not going to be shy about saying what we think. And I think it's appropriate, because I've been around a while, and I've seen a lot, and Marco has seen a lot more, because this is what he does. I have a million other responsibilities, but we have the right to say what we think, and we don't want to be fake. I don't want to be fake and say something's good when it's not
really good. It was fantastic. I can't wait to see the next episode. A+. Bye-bye.
Which I've already,
That's what
I
people
saw that
do.
on Twitter.
That's what they do.
Because somebody said things that we just said exactly. And I don't know who that was. I was thinking, is that you, Marco?
No.
Because it was exactly like what Marco would say. And then somebody said, oh, how can you say that? That's the best episode I've ever seen. I'm like, oh my God. Marco was right. There's people like this that are inflating
Because they just let go.
I don't know what they do.
They let go of logic, and they let go of any type, because they think if you criticize something, you're a mean person. You're a hater.
No, that's not true at all.
It's like two extremes.
I feel like if they have the money, some people don't have the money. They just and I'm not going to go into it, but I think of other things that we've seen where they didn't have the money, and they had to just make everything that's the best that they could do. There's no excuse for this. And the people they hire should be knowledgeable and experienced enough to do the right thing. Because these are kids. They're not that old. They have not had a ton of experience.
I think they're all like 14.
But they're not 20-something, or not 30-something, or not 40-something. They have not had years of experience. So they need a little bit of extra help. And that's your job. So get over yourself and do better, so people can really like your show.
Directing is hard, Safi. It requires effort.
Well, if you're not going to do effort, put effort into something that's actually a fun thing to do. I mean, you're so lucky to be able to do it. It's not on.
I'm going to need it for the review.
Oh, okay. So anyway, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.